So you're thinking of moving to Buffalo, New York. In this video, we're going to take a look at 5 pros and 5 cons to living in Buffalo, New York. And if you stick around until the end, I'll share with you some of the best kept secrets of the area that you definitely don't want to miss. If this is your first time to my channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Buffalo, New York, then subscribe below and don't forget to tap that bell for instant notifications so you can be the first to know about any changes to the market conditions here in Buffalo, New York. I'm Bruce Andrews, the real estate guy, and I love helping people just like you make your move to Buffalo. Whether it's in 1 week or 8 weeks, feel free to reach out. All my contact information is down below, and I'd be happy to help you make your move to Buffalo a smooth move. So let's start with pro number 1, affordable housing. In February of this year, the median home price in Buffalo was $249,900 compared to the rest of the country, which was $410,000. The national website Zillow.com rated Buffalo as the hottest real estate market out of the 50 most populous U.S. cities. That's amazing. Buffalo ranks as the top city for home buyers in 2025 with over half of the homes selling above list price and a median time on the market of just 12 days. So the strong demand coupled with affordability makes Buffalo an attractive market for buyers, and it's a pretty hot market. So here's a couple of examples of some recent sales. 3-bedroom home in Kaisertown or Lovejoy, these are 2 neighborhoods in Buffalo, sold for under $160,000. A downtown condominium starts as low as $180,000, and a waterfront condominium starts as low as $400,000 with a beautiful, spectacular view of Lake Erie and the waterfront and the Erie Basin Marina. It's absolutely gorgeous. So that's number 1, which leads us to number 2, the low cost of living in Buffalo, New York, and the healthcare. And let me talk about the healthcare just quickly. Buffalo is home to some of the most popular or well-known hospitals in the country. For example, we have the Roswell Park Cancer Institute. People come from all over the world actually to come to Roswell Park. It's an incredible hospital. Number 2, we have Buffalo General, which is a very, very big and busy hospital. We have Erie County Medical Center, and on a note, Erie County Medical Center is a level 1 trauma center, which means there are surgeons on duty 24 hours, so it doesn't matter what time you have some type of an accident, you can get into the operating room within 30 minutes, and sometimes I'll even start in the emergency room. Then we have South Buffalo Mercy, and then we have the Oshai Children's Hospital. Oshai Children's Hospital, again, is another national or even world-renowned hospital for children. So those are just some examples of the low cost of living and the availability to health care. Number 3 is the revitalized downtown and the waterfront development. Buffalo's done a fantastic job of developing the waterfront. You have Canalside, you have Riverworks, the Buffalo River, you have several different tour boats, you have the cycle ferry, which will take you from one side, from Canalside across the Buffalo River over to the outer harbor, and you can take your bike and go all the way down the outer harbor, which is a pretty cool thing to do. And I'll take you down there. We'll do a couple examples. I'll actually do a little video of each of those 2 locations just to give you an idea of just how nice it is at the boardwalk downtown. Number 4, outdoor activities. We have Canalside, which we just talked about, the bike ferry, the outer harbor, Riverworks, harbor tours and charters. You have the Miss Buffalo, which has been in Buffalo. It's a staple in Buffalo since the 70s. It's an incredible ride. They do harbor tours. They do Buffalo River tours. They do charters. They go up and down the Black Rock Canal. They go out into Lake Erie. So that's something you could enjoy. There's events at Riverworks. There's events, well, these are mostly summer events, but in the winter you have snow skiing and ice skating. We have snow skiing. We have 2 really nice resorts. We have Kissing Bridge and Holiday Valley. They're south of Buffalo, and I'd say Holiday Valley is probably maybe 40 minutes away from Buffalo, maybe a little less than that. And Kissing Bridge is about 20 to 30 minutes from Buffalo. Both terrific resorts. You have a great time there. And we also have ice skating in the winter. We have ice skating at Canalside. That's actually an outdoor rink, which is a lot of fun. And then Buffalo is home to several different indoor rinks as well. Hockey and figure skating, those are very popular sports in the area. And then number 5, our 5th pro to living in Buffalo, New York would be for sports lovers. We have 3 professional sports teams. I'm sure you're familiar with the Buffalo Bills. We have the Buffalo Sabres. We have the Buffalo Bandits. And at the college level, we have the UB Bulls. These are all very, very popular sporting events for the area. If you're into sports, you'll love being in Buffalo, New York. So one of our pros to living in Buffalo, New York, we talked about things to do and activities. And right now we're down here at the Buffalo Waterfront. We're across the river from Buffalo Riverworks. I just wanted you to get an idea what it looks like, so take a look at this. So we're at our next stop. We're at the site of Canalside, and right behind me here, where you see the water, in the winter this freezes and turns into an outdoor ice skating rink. There's a lot to see down here. Just pan over this way a little bit. You can see the little bridge and some of the little boats that you can rent down here. And we'll take a hike down here to the waterfront, and we'll let you see the boardwalk as well. So we're down here at Canalside. Behind me you can see the bike ferry. This is the ferry that takes your bicycle from this side of Canalside across the Buffalo River to the outer harbor, where you can ride your bike all the way up and down the outer harbor. There are other things to do here as well. There's some other charter boats here, and there's a restaurant and lots to do. Let's keep on looking. This is the Buffalo Naval Park. It's a museum. They have 2 ships and a submarine here. You have the USS Little Rock, USS Sullivan's, and the Croaker, which is a submarine. If you get into Buffalo, you've got to take a tour on any one of these boats. It's really very interesting. These ships served in World War II. There's a lot of history. There are veterans here that actually served, and they can give you a little bit of a narrative as you're... That's the Queen City Bike Ferry. It's taking a load of passengers across the Buffalo River, which I'll show you out here. And once you get to the other side, if you have a bike, you can take your bike off the bike ferry and you can ride all the way down the outer harbor. Here we are at Erie Basin Marina. Here we are on our last stop at the Buffalo Waterfront. This is we're at the Hatch Restaurant, which is up at the end of the Buffalo River where it empties into Lake Erie. And as you can see, there are a few boats heading out right now. And let me turn this around so you can get a shot. There's the Buffalo Lighthouse. And here's downtown Buffalo, heading up the Buffalo River towards Canalside and towards Riverworks. Another one of the pros that we mentioned about living in Buffalo, New York was all of the professional sport teams that we have. Here we are in front of the Key Bank Arena. This is the home of the Buffalo Sabres right here. You can see that, there we go. Yeah, this is the home of the Buffalo Sabres, and one of the things I forgot to mention about the professional sports teams is I left out the Buffalo Bisons. We have a AAA baseball team here at a beautiful stadium. We'll take a ride by there and I'll give you a shot of the beautiful baseball stadium that we have as well. Let's continue our tour. Okay, so we talked about the 5 pros of living in Buffalo, New York. Now let's look at 5 cons to living in Buffalo, New York. The first con would be the harsh winters. We've heard all kinds of news about the harsh winters in Buffalo, New York, and we'll get into that in detail in just a minute. So number 1, harsh winters. Number 2, high property taxes. Number 3, a limited public transit. We'll talk about that a little bit in detail as well. Number 4, an aging infrastructure. And number 5, a limited job market. So let's start with number one, the harsh winters. Let's go to our screen. I want to explain something to you. I'm going to share my screen here. So on the map, I'm showing a picture of Buffalo. You can see Buffalo here, and we've got Lake Erie here. And if you see my notes, it says prevailing wind from the southwest. That's the prevailing wind in our area, from the southwest heading towards the northeast. The wind passes over Lake Erie, and on my picture here, you can see here's Buffalo. It's at the eastern end of Lake Erie. Lake Erie is one of the shallowest, it is the shallowest of the 5 Great Lakes. And what typically happens in November, when the air starts to get really cold, November and December, you have that really cold air coming from the west to the east, and it's passing over this really warm water from Lake Erie. The cold air draws that moisture out of the lake up into the sky, creates clouds, and then it's passed to the northeast. It ends up right here, crossing over land. And where do you think it lands? It lands in Buffalo right here. But it doesn't just hit Buffalo. It tends to actually swing more to the south down here. This is usually where it hits. Blaisdell, Hamburg, West Seneca area. As the winds shift back and forth, what you'll see is it'll hit the city of Buffalo downtown, and then the wind might drift back down towards the south towns again. So really, the south towns probably gets it worse than the city of Buffalo does. But what happens is eventually the lake will freeze. Lake Erie freezes almost every year. There's only been a few exceptions. And once the lake freezes, that cold air can't pick up any more moisture from the lake, and the lake effect storms actually stop. And at that point, we basically just get a traditional northeast winter where we get the same amount of snow pretty much as every other area in the northeast area of the country. So that's it for number one. For number two, so con number two is high taxes. In general, just because Buffalo is in New York State, the taxes are going to be higher. So you have to anticipate that the property taxes are going to be a little bit higher. But I want to show you something. In actuality, the city of Buffalo, compared to the other communities around the city, the property taxes are actually fairly affordable. Let me just show you a quick chart here. I'm going to share my screen. So what you see here on this first spot here, this chart just shows the different communities in Erie County, Buffalo being the first one, all based on a full market value of $150,000. So Buffalo, the property taxes for a home in Buffalo assessed for $50,000 would be about $1,921 after exemptions and such. But if you look at some of these other communities, $4,800, $5,000 a year. So you get the idea that even though the property taxes are higher, not necessarily that awful bad compared to some of these other cities. So our third con is a limited transit system. There is a subway system in Buffalo. It's on Main Street, but it doesn't go that far. Probably the primary form of transportation or public transportation is probably be by bus. There is a train station, a bus station in downtown, and there is a train station, but it only goes out to, I can't remember how far out it goes. It's only a few miles, but it doesn't take you out to the airport, which is kind of a negative. The fourth con is an aging infrastructure. What I mean by that is the utilities that are buried underground. A lot of them are old, and generally what happens in the winter when we get these really deep freezes, oftentimes some of these water lines will freeze and they'll rupture, and then they'll have a water main break, and it's a pretty big project to shut the water down and repair that main break. Number five, there's a limited job market in Buffalo. When I say limited, it's not really that bad. Probably the biggest industries in Buffalo, probably legal, medical, probably hospitality with restaurants and such. But there are fewer corporate headquarters than other major cities like Cleveland or Pittsburgh. You don't have as many big corporate headquarters as you would in those. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go on the road and I'm going to show you some of these pros and cons. I'll actually go to those locations. We'll take a look and you can see for yourself. So stay with us. So there you have it. 5 pros and cons to moving to Buffalo, New York. I hope this video has helped you to know everything there is to know if you're considering moving to Buffalo, New York. If you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor and subscribe down below, and don't forget to tap that bell for instant notification of new videos. Feel free to reach out to me anytime by phone, email, text, however you want to contact me. Use that information down below, and we'll see you at the next one. Thanks for watching.